I want to talk about a new game I've been playing.
I would like to hear it.
It's called Deadlock. If you're playing games, you've probably...
Oh, shoot. Someone's on the phone? Again?
No, just kidding.
Oh. My default was like, David Pierce is here again? Where is he?
Sorry. All right, back. Deadlock. If you've been playing games, you probably heard about this. It has taken off as probably like one of the most popular games right now, but it took off in the weirdest way possible from what I've seen. So
tell me about it.
Like you said, a lot of people have not heard of it. The first time I heard of this game was from The Verge. They made an article about it the other day that I thought was just like not a great headline because it said it's a Valve MOBA game. MOBA's multiplayer online battle arena. League of Legends, Dota. I mean, Valve made Dota. They're super 2. Popular. Dota 2, yeah.
Specifically.
And then, so it's like a third-person shooter MOBA made by Valve. So it's kind of a mix between a bunch of different games, but it's awesome. But The Verge made this article, and the reason it was interesting is because not a lot of people had heard about it because when you open the game, it's in such an early stage of playtesting and invite only right now that every time you open it, there's a pop-up that says you are agreeing to not share anything about this game. And there's a little checkbox and an okay. I guess The Verge said you could just hit escape and get past it, and then decided we'll just make the article anyways. And then I believe he got banned for doing the article. And that weirdly created, from what I've seen, a ton of hype around the game. I know there are people playing it already, but through that, people started wondering enough about it because they saw some gameplay footage from it. And it looks...
Are you about to get banned?
I have no idea because now people are full-blown streaming it. Like, it's
Did you
straight
hit escape?
I clicked okay.
Allegedly.
I'm not sharing gameplay footage.
Allegedly
in Minecraft.
I thought in Minecraft,
you hear that, Gabe? We're fine.
I thought that they officially started allowing
I
you to
do think
share
it's
it
officially
a few
allowed to
days
be
ago.
shared.
Yeah.
But through that, it created all this hype. I immediately was like, this game looks awesome. And then shout out Max Weinbach sent me an invite. And then you can send out, at that point, what I saw, unlimited invites. So I invited all of my friends that I play games with. None of us were really playing Valorant anymore. So now this is 100% the game we play almost every single night. It's really, really good.
It's that good? It got you off of Valorant?
I haven't played Valorant for like 6 months.
You're
Really?
like the Valorant guy.
Damn it.
Not anymore.
What happened like 6 months ago that could have taken you off?
So yeah, it's...
For anyone that doesn't know, Andrew recently became a father.
I have a kid, and they take up a lot of time. But now she has a really consistent 7 p.m. bedtime, which is perfect to like eat dinner, like hang out with Claire, and then 9:30 game time for probably a crisp 10:30 bedtime after that to wake up in time. But it is really good. It is a lot. It's like TF2 and Dota put together. So like
talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah, it's third-person shooter. You have a bunch of different characters with different abilities, but because it's a MOBA, there's lanes. There's actually 4 lanes in this, and there's neutral creeps, towers, bases, similar to that. You know, you generate an economy, buy different items, level up different skills. All of the characters so far are super fun. There's definitely a lot of Dota-related skills, but that's like League and Dota have a lot of characters that are super similar.
Yeah.
This is inevitably going to have that.
Sure.
But it's just like you jump right in. They have a bunch of really cool mechanics like zip lines instead of teleports back and stuff like that. They have shops and neutral creeps and bosses and like it's been really fun.
And is it
think you'd like
PvP or PvE?
I mean, it's a MOBA, so it's both, right? So you have like the creeps that you're killing in lane to push forward into bases. There's different monsters that give buffs and stuff like that, but you're also 6v6, 4 lanes. There's some kind of confusing things now on, if you know MOBAs, usually you have like solo lanes or duo lanes. Usually those are set up.
I'm not into gaming at all. Can you explain what a lane is?
I don't think it's
PvP
worth
is?
explaining all of that, to be honest. If you know a MOBA, you know what it is. It's just like a style of how you play based on how many people are there and what the map looks like.
Yeah.
Is Overwatch a MOBA?
No. That's just like a first-person shooter.
Okay.
Is this a MOBA?
But it's
Is
in
this a
an
MOBA?
arena with like hero characters.
Sort of. MOBAs have like one map.
Oh.
And
so
like
Fortnite
that
is a
arena.
MOBA.
Doesn't
I think
Am I
MOBAs are
getting
one
it?
of the hardest game types to explain. Would you
Yeah.
agree?
Is
Like,
chess a MOBA?
I'm gonna ask Gemini what a MOBA is.
can you ask Gemini what a MOBA is?
We'll see if it lies.
It's a really good mix between you're playing against things that are computers and also people, if that makes sense. And through that, playing against those things helps out how you fight the actual people as well.
Actually, wait, let's use Gemini Live for this. Let's see. Okay.
So fantasy football is a MOBA.
Hi. All right, let's start chatting whenever you're ready.
Can you explain what a MOBA game is?
A MOBA game is a type of online strategy game where two teams battle against each other. Think of it like tug of war, but instead of pulling
So
on a rope,
tug of
you're trying
war
to
is a
push your way
MOBA.
through the enemy's defenses to destroy their base. Each team has a base on opposite sides of the map. Protecting your base and destroying the enemies is the main goal.
So
to do that, you
Stratego
control
is a
single
MOBA.
character with special abilities and work together with your team to defeat
I can hold it.
Can I say
Yeah.
tug of war is actually a great way to describe
That's
it?
kind of true because you're kind of pushing back and forth
It's like,
to try to get.
think of, okay, easiest way to describe it. There's a map.
Right.
There's bases that you start in on both sides, and there's ways to get to those bases through the middle that have defense.
So
And then you're pushing back and forth through the defenses to eventually get to the other person's base and kill that base.
Yeah.
so Halo 1 Blood Gulch is a MOBA.
Is Splatoon a MOBA?
Okay. I think we've
mayonnaise a MOBA? So generally, too, there are like unique heroes with different skills, and you have different roles. So you'll have like a healer, and then you'll have like a tank,
support,
and
a tank,
yeah.
a
So
damage.
Dota has hard carry, and then mid, and then off lane, and then 2 supports.
Here's why I think you should try it.
Okay.
Because what was fun about Dota and League is like all of those roles have been super solidified. Whereas like since Deadlock's so new, people are still like, it's fun to get into a game now when a lot of people are new and learning it, and there aren't these like ultra defined rules where if you do one thing a little bit different in a build, all your teammates start flaming you. Because like MOBAs have to be some of the most toxic games. Also.
And what's interesting about Dota is that you can actually play support characters like carries sometimes, and those builds can work, but people will flame you if you do that. Yeah.
I think you should try this, but there is aim involved in it because it's still your main, your like auto attack or your default attack is always some sort of weapon, essentially like gun that you're shooting.
Okay.
Versus just like right click and it auto attacks.
Interesting. And is it Windows only right now?
Probably just because it's Valve and on Steam, I'm assuming, but I'm not 100% sure.
Valve makes all the games they make are available on every type of
So
platform.
it might be then.
But I don't know. It's in alpha. So
It's super early on.
Don't they use Team Fortress 2 models for the game?
There's some that look super similar. I thought I saw some screenshots early on that looked like the Hunter from Team Fortress 2, but now I don't think they're none that I know of. This is the way I'm describing how popular it is right now, though. So Shroud, one of the most popular streamers in the world, especially when you're talking about streamers who just play video games and are good at video games. He's been working on this game that he announced a couple months ago and just released yesterday. He's been playing Deadlock more than the game that he like basically helped build, which also has a bunch of hype. But he was playing Deadlock and talking about how great it was, and somebody like on his team was saying like, "Oh, Spectre Divide, seems so good, and I think it has more potential of being like a bigger game." And he was like, "Nah, this game rules." So
Dang. Yeah, the interesting thing about this game too is because Valve does not make that many games. Like for people that don't know, Valve made Half-Life and Half-Life 2, which are arguably some of the most famous games in the world, and they really defined like the PC era of gaming way back in the day. And they are also the distributor of Steam, which is the biggest gaming marketplace in the world for PC and Mac and Linux. And so it's really, really insane when they actually develop a game. And pretty much every single time Valve has ever made a game, it's been really, really good because they're a private company. They have very few employees, and they let people work on whatever they want, basically, until it's done.
Sorry, I want to issue a correction that I should have stepped in sooner because this to me a few months ago. But Valve pretty much removed Mac support for their entire catalog.
Of what?
Games.
I play Dota on Mac every day.
Dota and CSGO are the two they kept support from, but Portals 1 and 2, Left 4 Dead's 1 and 2, the whole Half-Life series, TF2, they technically are still listed in Steam as supporting Macintosh, but they're only playable on 32-bit Macs. They patched all the games so that you cannot run any of them on a 64-bit Mac, even though you previously could. They decided to remove.
Really?
Yes. I know because my brother, shout out Mason, plays a lot of Valve games, and we used to play together. and now we can't.
Weird.
That's nice.
Thanks, Gabe.
I was gonna say, I'm sure Valve's put out a couple bad games, but if you want to talk about bangers, Team Fortress 2, Dota 2, Half-Life, Portal, Left 4 Dead, Day of Defeat, like these are some of the biggest games
Ever made.
on PC.
Yeah, so it's a big deal for them to put out. The one thing that kind of concerns me is that Valve sometimes also kind of acts like Google, in that they have put out a bunch of spin-offs of Dota in the past that have been really amazing, and then they just stop supporting. So back in the day when Hearthstone was really popular, they made a version of Hearthstone but for Dota, and it was way better, and it was really cool, and it was called Artifact. And they basically released it and then didn't support it at all after that, and then closed it down. They also did the same thing with Dota. Lets you have like custom game modes inside of Dota, and people can build these custom game modes, which is really funny and ironic because the original Dota is actually a custom game mode of Warcraft 3. So someone actually built Warcraft 3 inside of the Dota custom game mode just to bring it full circle, which is very funny. But they made this game called Auto Chess because someone had made this auto chess game in Dota, which was basically like it was a mixture of chess and using Dota characters. And it was very, very cool and very interesting. And it got so popular on Twitch, and it was so insanely popular that League of Legends made their own version of it.
Teamfight Tactics.
And then Valve decided to basically make their own official version called Auto Chess. I think it was called Dota Auto Chess. And then they eventually closed that down too.
I just want to say, David, killedbyvalve.com is available.
But the problem is they don't make that much. Google makes crazy amounts of stuff. So anyway, it's a big deal that they're actually making something new, and I really, really hope that because it's so popular, it will continue to be supported.
Yeah, I just think like as much fun as I'm having playing it, the main thing I thought was so cool was just like it was pretty well under wraps. Like there are people who've been playing this for months, and that community I'm sure is like we've known about it forever, but I would say the general knowledge of it was pretty low key.
Yeah.
And then like it kind of got leaked. And then a bunch of people got into it, and then they're basically like, "All right, we're open now." And I think it's still considered in alpha, but they've had like a 200,000 peak player, concurrent peak player already.
That's wild. Yeah, if you just go to the Deadlock page on Steam, like there's nowhere to like download or anything. It's just like coming eventually to be announced.
Yeah, but if you know anyone that has it already, as far as I know, invites are unlimited. I invited like 10 of my friends, and they all got their invites within a couple hours.
You didn't invite me.
Can you give me a code before they're not unlimited anymore?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't send you one. I'll send you one.
Okay, cool. The Waveform Gaming Podcast. That's what we're doing today.
This whole section, I can't wait for people to yell at me and Ellis, but you know.
Why? And yell at us. It's impossible to talk about games and not get yelled at because the gaming atmosphere is so large that like you could be really well versed in one game and not know anything about another, and then you're not a gamer anymore.
And if you yell at us about the definition of a MOBA, blame Gemini.
Wait, so Minesweeper is a MOBA?
Thanks for watching this clip. Ellis has something to say.
Do it. Do it.
Bad. No, don't do that.
Commit crimes. Do it. Do it.
There are laws. Oh, yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Marquez is going to fire all of us.